Welcome to Investors Hangout, where we take up issues that you are very passionate about: investments, savings, mutual funds, and of course, you do have some questions which we answer for you, which are related to investments and savings. This edition of Investors Hangout is brought to you by Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund and Value Research. My name is Rajesh Lake, and with me is Dhirendra Kumar, CEO Value Research, and we are here to talk about how long is long term. Dhirendra, everyone invests, and the recommendations that are given by you is that remain invested for a long term. I would like to know what is the definition of this long term?
Well, there are different definitions which people, of course, it is being said time and again that invest in equity for the long run. And there are different definitions. The government gives a definition that hold your investment for 1 year and you are not subject to short-term capital gains.
Correct.
Government treats investments of more than 365 days as long-term capital gain, as long-term. But that I don't think is the correct definition of investors from their suitability point of view. Uh, Investors should look at what the kind of return that we have earned from Sensex, the unmanaged index. The return is 13% over the last 5 years. But within these 5 years, if you look at five annual, returns given in each year, it ranges between -9% to 45%. So there was a year in which you lost 9% money. Your 100 rupee became 91, and then there is a year in which your 100 rupee became 145. So this kind of variability that you see, you are able to reduce the likelihood of losing money only if you have this 5 year view, long-term view. And from my perspective, I think any period less than 5 years could be risky because we have done a very extensive study, understood that if you have a short-term view, the likelihood of losing money is very high. Equity is a very volatile asset. Also, your psychological odds are against you. When investors invest, very confidently when the market is doing well, which means that your investments have done well, it has gone up, and investments are cyclical; they go down only after they have gone up. So, when you invest with great confidence in the market and you see a big flip, you pull out. And if you have a short-term view, then you are more likely to be disappointed, unlikely to stick with your investment strategy, unlikely to have that long-term view. You started with a short-term view to begin with, so your odds are against you once you are faced with losses. So having this time frame in mind before you start is crucial.
So what's wrong if if my returns are 10% in the last 3 months and I take those returns home?
If you invested for 10% return, and this has happened in just about 3 months,
Okay.
and but you started with 1 year view or whatever, even longer, then by all means take it out. But I think even thinking of 1 year and investing in equity could be dangerous because
Right.
there are phases,
Hmm.
there are periods where 1%, 1 year return could be devastating for investors. If you invested in the early 2008, and if you're with a 1 year view and you are faced with a 60% decline or 70% decline in your investment value, and that is what many investors did. They will be in for a surprise. They will be driven out of the market. They will cash out their investments at the inopportune time, and they will never come back to invest again in their lifetime. So it not only causes a loss, it also deprives you of any future possibility of benefiting from the market, because only with this time frame in mind, if you invest, that you can benefit from equity. Otherwise it will turn out to be very disappointing.
I'm sure all our viewers would like to know the definition of this long-term horizon. How long is long-term? And what
uh,
basis do you calculate?
no, basically we did a very comprehensive study and not very long back. In fact, we did this secrets of profitable SIPs. And for this we looked at the SIP return generated by all Indian funds since the start, going back 25 years, and we looked at all time period, the best of 1 year, best and the
Okay.
worst of 1 year, and we did it for uh, all the monthly time period of all the existing equity funds in the country.
Okay.
And the result was very straightforward. We found that on an average, if you invest through SIP, then any period of less than 5 years could possibly not necessarily, but possibly can. Every fund had you could have lost money with a majority of the funds if you invested for a 1 year time period. 1 year SIP is no guarantee. And even if you period of less than 5 years can potentially cause a loss. Of course, the number of readings where we got losses on less than 5 years was not much, but you can potentially lose money. Only when the time period goes beyond 5 years, the possibility of losing money with SIP, even with the worst fund, came down to nearly zero.
That's interesting research. Do catch hold of the Value Research Mutual Fund Insight, and you will know what Dhiren is talking about in detail. So my next question is, if you've defined 5 years, should I get out after 5 years and then restart?
No, the whole idea of this 5 year, how we arrived at, and this is based on the past. So it could be, 5 year, 4.5 years, five and a half year. But that 5 year is actually not the point. The point is that most people investing in equity, they come with a short-term orientation. They think that the market is doing well, they need to quickly profit from it. That is a wrong orientation to have. Have at least 5 year time frame, invest methodically, and invest for a time period till you don't need the money, because everybody's circumstances are different. If you are investing in your accumulation phase, invest for 25 years. If you are a young person getting started, and then you have to invest for income in retirement, or if you have to invest till retirement, keep doing that. Your money will compound at a faster rate. Take your money out only methodically, only when you get close to needing it for consumption.
Okay, so what you're talking about is that we should continue to do that till we require the money. The SIPs should continue.
Yep.
And while we were talking some time back, you mentioned about do the reverse of the SIP.
Yep.
Would you explain this to our viewers?
Yeah, reverse of SIP. This 5 year time period should also be looked upon in terms of your exit strategy. If you're looking for, if you plan to consume, you need the money 2 years from now, 3 years from now, methodically exit, because you can't depend on the market. The reason, markets can surprise you in the short run. So markets can surprise you in the short run, not only while you are investing, also when you want your money. So when you need the money, and if you are thinking of that on December 31st, 2017, you'll need the money, and you couple of days before you'll take the money out, you could be in for a surprise. Taking the same principle that you can't bank on the market in the short run, you should methodically pull your money out well before you need the money. And depending on the magnitude, depending on the scale, if you need all your money for consumption, buying a house or some such need, then you need to methodically exit your investments in the next, I would say that 12 to 18 months time frame. The kind of principle that we follow for investing a large lump sum, that 18 months to 3 years for an all important goal, the reverse of that, 18 to 13 months, 36 months for your withdrawal plan, depending on the scale of it.
So what we're talking about is that, okay, if I have a goal, a financial goal in mind, I should withdraw the money. Then after I've kind of taken care of that need that I have, I should go back to investing again.
Yeah,
which you should actually.
If you are still in the income phase, if you are still in the accumulation phase, you have accumulated some money, your savings, and you need it for some purpose, but you are still on with your income, then you should continue your investment plan. That is completely different from the consumption
withdrawal
need
that you're talking about.
So start accumulating it for whatever goal, or just no goal, but just invest. And long-term money should be invested in equity. Should be invested in equity methodically, and it should be. You should always have 5 year time frame. Any goal of which is less than 5 year old, I think you should consider more conservative vehicle, fixed income fund for short-term goals. You need the money in 1.5 years, 2 years. Down payment for your car, or buying a car a year and a half from now. That's something where you should be doing your recurring deposit, or your SIP in a bond fund, where the possibility of your plans will not be the idea is that you should eliminate the risk of making your plan dependent on the market.
Okay. So I hope viewers, you've understood how long is long. Minimum 5 at least. Okay. Thereafter, systematically withdraw your money, and but the need of the hour is that you continue to save, and that too through the SIP.
Yes.
Right.